We are monitoring the penalty phase of the case against defendant Shelby Nealy. We know this guy killed multiple people and dogs, killing his wife, his in-laws, his wife's brother, 3 dogs found dead inside the family home. He pleaded. And now we're in the penalty phase. This is a capital case. So the state of Florida wants to give this guy the death penalty. And he's going in front of a jury to see if the jury will recommend life for him. So that is his hope, not the hope for the state of Florida. So the case just kicked off yesterday. So we're going back so you can see all of the testimony that's been important here. So now we're going to hear some footage. This hasn't been aired yet on Court TV. This is from another member of the Ivancic family. This is Richard Jr., so another brother who was not killed. Let's hear from him and how this has affected his life.
His 71st birthday.
I did.
December 13th of 2018. Did you have any contact with him that day?
I did. I called him. I called him on the 13th to wish him happy birthday. I think it was later in the day. I think it was during the week, because I think I might have been traveling before the holidays. And we were kidding or joking because he was excited that his grandkids were coming. I have 2 kids myself that are about the same age as his 2 kids, 2 girls. They live out of state. And I was traveling to see them for Christmas. So we were sort of joking about that on his birthday.
Okay. And you were going to visit your children who recently had grandchildren?
Yes, it was her first. My first and only granddaughter. It was her first Christmas, so I wanted to be there for Christmas. So.
Were you talking to your father about that because this would have been his great-grandchild?
I was, and he would comment back that he was going to have his grandkids come and visit too with Jamie and the defendant.
Now, in that discussion, did you discuss that when you got to North Carolina, South Carolina?
South Carolina, yeah.
South Carolina, that you would be communicating with him and sending him photographs and things of that nature because of the
Yeah, he loved receiving pictures, especially, like I said, I travel a lot. I send him pictures of a lot of places I go to. You know, so he wanted to see some pictures of his great-grandchildren, which would have been.
And when you would send him photographs and things like that, would he normally say something about it?
I would always get some kind of response. You know, it could be a like on the picture. It could be, you know, something about the picture. I would always get some kind of response, yes.
So would it be unusual if you sent him photographs of the new great-grandchild and then get no response?
That's very unusual, yes.
Okay. So that birthday, December 13th, 2018, was that the last time you talked?
It was.
Saw your father?
Unfortunately, it was. It was the last time I spoke with him.
So obviously at that point in December, you're going up to visit family, about to be the holiday season. Were there multiple times between then and New Year's that you were sending him photographs?
Yes, yes.
And did you get any responses after that?
None at all.
Did it get to the point where you were concerned?
Yes.
Did you try to call him?
I did.
And did you get any response?
None whatsoever.
Was that unusual?
Yes.
So as time goes on, does there come a point, December 31st, where you're traveling back?
Yeah. It's about 10 hours from South Carolina back to West Palm. So I had plenty of time on my hands to talk. So after I tried reaching out to him, no answer. I don't remember if I tried texting Laura or not. I don't remember. But I know I texted my sister, who's here, and my brothers. One of them's here. And they hadn't spoken with him since his birthday either. They told me. Then I called his brother, his oldest brother. He's one of 6 children, so we come from a rather large family. I called his brother, my Uncle Ken, and we tried to start putting together a timeline. When was the last time he talked to him? And the best thing he could recollect was the 14th or 15th, and I was 13th. So that was the end of that day. I got home, and I went to bed and woke up the next morning. I said, you know, something's just not seeming right, okay? I have a lot of friends in law enforcement, and, you know, I know what a welfare check is. So I thought...
Let me ask you this. So now you've compared notes. Are you concerned?
Very concerned, yes.
Now, You know what a welfare check is? Have you ever called in a welfare check before?
No, never.
Is that something that you just like, hey, I haven't talked to somebody, I think I'm going to call the police and have them check?
No, I talked to a couple friends of mine, just to say, what can I do? Besides driving over here, which is like 4.5 hours away, could be 5. They suggested to do the welfare check, and I thought about it, and I said, that's a good idea.
Okay.
So I called them.
So when did you place that call?
New Year's Day,
So January 1st of 2019?
2019, yes.
Okay. And when you called, were you put in contact with Tarpon Springs Police Department?
Yes.
And did you provide them some information and why you were calling and
Correct.
why they were going to end up going out to 1954 Way?
Yes, I gave them the address, told them what my concern was about the pictures, not hearing back from them. The officer said that he would call me on the way there, which he did. When I hadn't heard anything for quite some time, I became very concerned. Okay. And I thought that something was going to happen, something had happened.
Was there in having the officer go out and do the welfare check, were you hoping to hear back from the officer pretty quickly?
Yeah, it was.
And in fact, did you get upset when you hadn't heard from him in hours?
Yes.
And then did you try to get more information about why hadn't you heard?
Well, yes, I did. I hadn't gotten any information back, so I know quite a few people over in this side of the state. I just called a bunch of friends and asked them to go up. One of them called me back and told me they drove in a uniform.
Sustained.
So, eventually, did you get in contact with law enforcement?
I did.
And at that point, did they give you some of the information about what had happened?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is just awful. So here we are, and we have this family destroyed, all by one person. I mean, carried out this massacre to ruin this family. So this is after he kills his wife, then he kills his in-laws, his brother-in-law, and their 3 dogs. Do you think this is going to be a tough decision for this Florida jury? Remember, since the law has changed, all they need is 8 jurors to agree on the death penalty, 8 of the 12. So 4 can disagree in order for it to be death for him. Let's bring in attorney C.K. Hoffler. She's also the former president of the National Bar Association. C.K., grateful for your company this morning and your insight as well on this case. These are tough ones, as we know. Whenever someone's life is on the line, it's a very weighty decision for any jury. Even with bad facts, sometimes we've seen verdicts that surprise us. Nicholas Cruz, probably the biggest surprise ever that came out of the state of Florida. So who knows what the jury will do. Share with us some of your impressions, if you would, please. I know it's early on, but share with us kind of what you're thinking as we're watching this phase play out.
I'm licensed in Florida, and I have a little bit, unfortunately, of experience with these types of cases. And I would say that it's not going to be, even though I have personal views about the death penalty, I'm not in favor of it, that's not relevant. I believe that it's not going to be difficult for a jury to reach a conclusion, especially with the new law, that this defendant should get the death penalty. There was premeditation. He already fled, he buried his wife, he killed, really eviscerated and destroyed an entire family, as you said, Julie, killed the dogs. He brought his kids there when he was digging a grave. You see, there's so many actions, and we don't even know all the facts because, as you said, because he took a plea and because this is a bifurcated trial, we didn't get a chance to hear all the evidence that would have been presented in trial 1. But from what we know, it's his actions are pretty heinous, pretty inexplicable, and pretty inexcusable. So I don't think it's going to be difficult for a jury to determine that he should get the death penalty, even if there's some people on that jury that don't believe in the death penalty, because there are 4 of them that can have a different view. And I think that that's what's going to happen in this case because of all of the factors involved.
Excellent point, CK. As you were talking, you made me think of something else, another great question for you. So backing up a step, him taking the plea, you hit on this, how we know had he gone to trial, these facts would have been horrible. It would have been a pretty certain conclusion that he would be found guilty. So it sounds like he took the great advice of his lawyers. I'm sure he has outstanding lawyers. In any case like this, you know how it is, CK. They're going to get death penalty certified people who are very seasoned to try to save his life. Taking the plea, tell me what you think that has done for him, big picture, where the only question becomes penalty.
I think, this is heinous, but it's a great strategy. It's a great legal strategy. And the reason for that is because if a jury had to sit and listen to all of the evidence, even people against a death penalty may have said, in this case, even though I'm not in favor of it, I think he deserves a death penalty. We don't need him to be alive, or at some point we need to take him out because of what he's done. He's really destroyed a family. He's killed so many people. And so I think if that evidence had been presented, it may have been more of a slam dunk for the jurors sitting in the sentencing phase. It still may be somewhat of a slam dunk because they did hear enough facts. They do know enough facts for them, and they're going to hear more victim impact statements that will reveal a lot about the victims. But I do think it was a great legal strategy. And a lot of times clients don't listen to the great legal strategies, but in this case, it helped them tremendously. If there's a slim possibility that he may escape the death penalty and just get life in prison without parole, it will happen because of that legal strategy.
Yes, C.K. Hoffler, a great insight there. Thank you so much.